Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Movies and Us. I'm Marcus.
And I'm DJ.
And this is the review show that reviews genre movies from the beginning. Sometimes.
You've purposely paused way too long there.
I've paused perfectly talking about.
Whatever. Hello, this is our inaugural movie podcast. As he said, we're doing genre movies from the beginning. We're going to focus on superhero movies because we both really like superheroes. We'll probably branch out and stuff like that in the middle. Like, we'll take breaks at some point from the superhero movies and just do other things as we go. But we're going to focus on Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Image Comics, and Dark Horse Comics. Pretty much, essentially, going through chronologically, doing superhero movies based on those comic book adaptations. We're also going to do the DC animated movies because there's 1,000 of them. I think there's only 2 Marvel ones that are worth doing, so we'll do those too. But yeah, so this is what we're pretty much doing. We're starting Captain America in 1944. Go ahead, Marcus, take it away.
Oh, man. Well, the show, Serial, I guess, it was a 15-parter. I don't know, we'll start the review. You want to talk about the time period at that time, how World War II was still going on. They just created Captain America prior to this?
Well, it was released by Republic Pictures, and it's based off of Captain America from the comic books, obviously. Yeah. Marvel Comics at the time was called Timely Comics. It wasn't actually called Marvel, so I was going to throw that in there. As for, this really has nothing to do with the comic books, this Captain America. I mean, Captain America came out 3 years beforehand in the comics, and I guess they did the serial based on it, but not really.
Very loosely based off of the Captain America we know nowadays.
Right. So yeah, and this is a 15-part serial, like Marcus said, so we're going to try and do all 15, but see, Marcus, where did you watch it? You watched yours on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I watched mine on YouTube, and the whole runtime of the show, for YouTube at least, was 3 hours and 17 minutes. And for TJ, he watched it on DVD, correct?
Yeah. And mine was like 4 hours and 3 minutes.
So those 45 minutes, I apparently missed out on some stuff?
Well, not really. From what you were telling me, is they cut out all the intros, like all the beginning credits and all the title cards and all the repeats that they do. So if you take out all of that, it does add up. So...
Oh, that's fair.
All right, so going into it, on the DVD, I actually had trailers, so I wanted to bring them up.
Oh, trailers, okay.
Yeah, I had a trailer for The Lone Ranger, which was in color, which is strange because this is in black and white.
That's interesting.
Right, and, it had all the tropes of The Lone Ranger, the theme song and the hi-ho silver, all the things that everybody... Everything in those. And I also had a trailer for, where is it? The Hounds of the Baskerville.
Oh, wow. The Sherlock Holmes story.
The Sherlock Holmes stories, yes.
Wow.
And Peter Cushing is Sherlock Holmes.
What?
Yeah. I actually have that movie, and I have seen it. I'm a real big fan of Sherlock Holmes.
Well, maybe we'll review that in one of our offshoots one day.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would suggest anyone go read the actual Sherlock Holmes stories, though.
Who reads? Come on.
I do.
This is a movie podcast, dang it.
Speaking of which, Marcus is the expert on the movie side of things here.
Quote-unquote expert.
Well, no more than me. We're doing superhero comic books because I know a lot about comics.
So hopefully we can blend our knowledge together and give you entertaining and knowledgeful reviews.
I guarantee no entertainment. Well, I can't guarantee any entertainment, I will say.
We just got like our personalities. If you don't like us, get out. I'm kidding. No, I'm not like that.
Yes, you are, liar. Before we get into it, Marcus was offended that there are no people of color in this.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we started recording. I wasn't it's 1944. I didn't expect anybody of color. And there's only one, maybe 2 females who have lines in this whole 15-parter. The main female in this is she's not a strong character, but she's not a weak character by far.
No, she's competent.
Very competent. It was a pleasant surprise.
There is no 1940s sexism in this, which is very surprising.
Yeah. It was really enjoyable.
All right, so you want to jump into it proper?
Yeah, you want to talk about the first part of the 15-parter?
Yeah, so like Marcus is going to run us through this movie because he's going to run us through the Marvel and Dark Horse comic movies. But he didn't have the chapter breakdowns because he had one long thing, so I'm just going to go in and tell you what the chapters are called and how long they were. The first chapter is called The Purple Death, and it is 25 minutes and 40 seconds long.
Yes.
So Captain America stars Dick Purcell, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
So I want to bring him up specifically because apparently he died a few weeks after filming, and they think it was the stress of this filming Captain America that killed him.
Really? Oh, yeah, I see. He died at 38 years of age. That's young.
Yeah, they think because of filming this, his heart gave out. So I just found that interesting.
Well, I don't want to talk ill of the dead, but also he didn't look in the best of shape as Captain America.
Yeah, there was... I was also reading there was some... what's it called? Controversy about casting him because seems a little bit overweight.
Yeah, yes.
So, yeah. All right, so go ahead. Go into The Purple Death.
The Purple Death. Well, what is there to say about the Purple Death? Webster's Dictionary would say... No, I'm kidding. Purple Death. Well, it starts off with a string of mysterious suicides. And, of course, 1944 is going to be like a narrator speaking and going off what's going on.
Well, it wasn't really a narrative that I got. It was like a radio host guy.
Yes. Before every episode, he was reading a newspaper whilst talking into something, correct?
Yeah, and they showed him actually reading off the paper.
Yes. I enjoyed that a lot. So I'm going to call him the narrator. Because before Warren, I don't know anyone's name besides Captain America on the show. So I'm sorry, viewers, listeners.
What's Captain America's name?
Captain America.
What's his secret identity?
It's not Steve Rogers, I'll tell you that, which is weird. No, they call him Grant Gardner.
Grant Gardner, yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, this isn't Steve Rogers at all. And
No.
I was gonna bring this up later, but I'm not sure why Captain America is in this serial. You can just have this guy as a DA, Grant Gardner, and not have Captain America in it at all because he seems to do a majority of the stuff as the DA anyway. So I'm not sure why Captain America is even in this.
Yeah, because when he shows up as Captain America, he's here only for a few minutes per episode, and most of the time, like you said, the DA.
Grant Gardner is the DA of wherever city you are, and he's sicker than he's Captain America. But you could have had this entire serial without Captain America at all.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they were trying to go off the Lone Ranger and everything else at this time period. Like, okay, secret identity, do this and this. Let's just throw Captain America into this episodic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's how it is, and they probably wanted to make money off of the name Captain America.
Oh, for sure. And I guess it worked.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, go ahead.
Where was I at? Purple Deaths. Oh, some mysterious suicides. And everyone who was killing themselves held a little Scarab pendant thing. I'm just going to give you a brief highlights. They run through it. We meet Captain America. We meet his secretary. What is she? A secretary?
Yeah, Captain America has a secretary who knows his identity and stuff too.
Yeah, so I'm guessing
her name's Gail in this.
Gail, yeah. Yeah, she's the one who's the strong character, not a strong female character, but she holds herself in this. They get to a plant shop, it looks like, later on, and that's where the purple poison comes from. That's where they manufacture all this stuff.
All right, so essentially, what happens is the suicide. I found this confusing. There were a bunch of suicides, but they knew they were murders because apparently there was poison in their system when they did the autopsies. So now they're trying to figure out where the poison came from. So they go to a bunch of flower shops and asking about rare toxins because that's where they assume the toxins come from, is this plant.
Yes.
And so I guess, you know what? You don't seem to be able to... Do you want me to take over?
Yeah, because I don't know what to say. Like, I saw the whole thing. Look, I can't break it down episode by episode like you can, unfortunately.
All right. So apparently I'm taking over here.
Yeah, you are. Here's the reins for you, TJ.
We tried.
And it lasted a good minute, probably.
All right. So there's a rush of suicides, like you said.
Yes.
And it's this supervillain, the Scarab, who's killing these guys, who is revealed to be this museum director, which is actually kind of surprising because apparently the Republic serials like to use a mystery villain a lot of times, so revealing the villain in the beginning seemed to be a surprise for the Republic Pictures thing.
Yeah, because I remember, if I could say this, later on, like probably the last episode or so, he reveals himself to the people, like to the people in the movie, and which is a weird.
Okay. Yeah, that was strange in a lot of instances.
Yeah, like why not keep it from the audience too? I'm just saying.
So what happens is he's able to control people's minds with this smoke, I guess, because apparently you smell this when they dilute this poison to smoke, they smell it. He allows him to control your mind.
Yeah, he'll give you commands, and they'll last for only a few minutes. This effect,
but he tells them to commit suicide. I don't know how he does it in the beginning because they don't show him in the same room with these people. No. So is he doing it psychically?
I don't know, because like you said, later on you see him face to face saying this to people. But for this first few clips of people killing themselves, you don't see them, you don't hear them. They just open it, they smell it, and they die. Right.
So eventually he's targeting people of an expedition that he went on to, they went to, I'm assuming, South America, because they say Mayans a lot, even though they say it wrong every time.
Yeah. Well,
so a bunch of scientists went on an expedition, and the only thing he got out of it was a curatorship out of a museum, and he's jealous that everyone else got rich and famous off of it. So he's targeting everybody that went on this expedition with him. So he's targeted all his friends, I say in quotations, and eventually he targets a scientist that's creating this vibration machine.
You want to tell him what it's called, TJ?
What is it called, Marcus? I don't have it written down.
They call this vibration machine, wait for it, the vibrator, because it vibrates things. Oh. Very, very, very original.
I mean, I don't know why I'm going into this. When was a vibrator created?
I don't know. Okay, now I guess I gotta look this up now for our podcast research.
Because now I don't even know if that was a thing in the 40s.
It would have. No, because people were sexist back then, right?
That means they needed it more than ever.
Okay, it was created in 1869.
So they did exist.
Yeah. At least yeah, it was created in 1869 by a physician named George Taylor.
Were they called that?
The vibrator's original purposes. Yeah, it looks like.
Well, then they really just made a poor choice of naming.
Yeah, why you explain this? I'm going to do some more research into this.
I'm sure you will. What I want to bring up is that this plot line, I recognize the story of, controlling people's minds psychically, scratching people to control people's mind. Because at one point, he scratches the secretary with it and controls her mind.
Yeah, what does it remind you of?
Well, in Batman #3, the comic book, there's a story called The Puppeteer.
Okay.
It was released in 1940, a few years before this story, and it is almost identical.
Really?
Yeah, he scratches people with it, he can control their minds, he steals their scientific inventions because of it. It's almost identical, except he didn't make them commit suicide. At least I don't remember him doing it.
That's fascinating. Because honestly, I also thought of Batman, but not to that extent. I thought the Joker with his... in the animated series, he had that clown poison that makes people smile to death. That's what it kind of reminded me of. But wow, so there's an actual comic with the same plot, huh?
Yeah, almost to the core. And I was really I just read this not too long ago. I'm what's going on here?
That's interesting.
I looked it up to find out what it was. But anyway, so the Scarab got his scientist friend in there, and he controls his brain to tell him where the vibrator plans are.
Yeah, where the plans are, where's the machine for it.
And so the Scarab's thugs, he's got the most competent thugs that I've ever seen.
You noticed that too, right?
Well, at least the one guy.
Yes.
He's got one guy named Matson, who is just kicks the shit out of Captain America.
Throughout this series, these henchmen, these thugs, go toe-to-toe with Captain America, only to be frauded by him by like the smallest chances. And it's just really refreshing to see that.
Yeah, and there was like the main villain, not the main sidekick villain, is so competent. He succeeds in almost all of his plans. It's really surprising. So these thugs go to steal the plans, and then Captain America shows up with a gun.
You want to talk about that?
Yes. So, one, Captain America doesn't have a shield in this at all.
Never, not once.
So, and like we said, this is not Steve Rogers.
No.
So,
if anything, this is a man who read the Captain America comic books and like, you know what? I can do that.
Yeah, it's pretty much. But at the same time, Captain America himself wielding a gun's not really that surprising. He was a soldier in World War II, so kind of makes you can see Captain America with the gun. It's a little strange without the shield. When he starts murdering these thugs is when it gets a little nuts.
And he does murder them in very different ways, too.
Yeah. So when he runs into these two trying to get the plans at the doctor's place, and he shoots one of them, and this is where I start keeping a Captain America kill count tally.
Now, to be fair, that first murder he did, they were wrestling with the gun in hand, and it got in between them. So you can't really see if it would get purposeful or accidental, but later on, they seem more purposeful, this death.
Yeah, no. But, like, I also do a comic book podcast, and we kept the Batman kill count, but the kills in this one are so many that I started to keep track in this one, too. So, yeah, he kills one guy with a gun, so that's his first kill.
Yeah.
So, it's just a little strange watching Captain America murder people.
Again, it's like a fan became Captain America and did it his way.
Right. So, they realize that the Purple Death is a toxin from a plant, so they go around to these flower shops, and the secretary finds out what flower shop she went. Why? He also sends her into the most dangerous situations.
He does. He really does. I've all kept thinking, like, why is she doing this for him? He's the hero.
Right, but it's also like she's competent and succeeds at them, but man, it almost feels like I said in the comic podcast, I'm reviewing Batman, and it always seems like Batman's trying to get Robin killed.
Yes.
That's what it feels like here. Captain America's trying to get his secretary killed. So I'm wondering if that was just a 40s thing.
Oh, it has to be.
Because another comparison to Batman is we see Captain America driving in his car in full costume.
Uh-huh.
No one notices that Captain America is driving the DA's car.
And mind you, the DA is everywhere, and he's popular.
Yeah.
He's well known.
And this happens in the early Batman comics too. Batman just drives this red convertible around as Batman. No one knows that's Bruce Wayne's car.
Nope.
So I was getting so many Batman comparisons here, and it was like on the other podcast, me and my co-host there call that Batman brutal Batman. This is brutal Captain America.
Oh, by far brutal Captain. Even with no shield, this man just goes unhinged sometimes.
Yeah, because when they capture the secretary, he goes into the shop and then murders those two guys. He just shoots them.
Yep. He gives them a chance, of course. But they end up, of course, fighting back. They tussle. They break things around the building. And they end up dying. He's always fighting around 2, maybe at most 3 henchmen at a time. They tussle, they tear up the room, throw things at each other, knock each other out, get back up. There's a constant routine throughout this.
Yeah, they love to throw things at each other.
Yes. Barrels. There's barrels in every room, chairs, like, they throw guns at each other. Like, why are you throwing your gun? Shoot, just shoot.
It is very choreographed.
Yeah, surprisingly. And these stuntmen are actually throwing themselves around.
Oh, yeah. It also feels like it's a little bit fast forward, too, when they fight.
Oh, yeah, sometimes, yes.
Because it feels very fast-paced.
Yeah. You'll definitely see sometimes they'll whip a punch, but still play it out. I also remember there's a lot of instances. Captain America is not the only one killing henchmen. They kill each other a lot in this series.
Oh, yeah, but, they're stupid henchmen, so...
They are, but it's just a funny thing to notice.
The one of the guys gets away with the plans, and after Captain America murders the other one earlier, and this is before I jumped ahead. I'm sorry. I kind of friggin' lost track of where I was. I forgot to mention this. But they got the plans to the vibrator from that one. But another scientist had already created a vibrator. Get it out.
Okay, continue.
All right. So, the DA and his secretary are going to see a demonstration of this. But the Scarab knows that from the plans that if you turn it up to max power, it can destroy buildings. So they all go, well, no. Why does the DA not show up there?
Why? Because some 1944 excuse.
Yeah, I forget why, but the DA doesn't go to the demonstration. I guess something to do with Captain America.
Yeah.
And so everyone, the scientists and the secretary and everyone else gets captured and put into a vault as the bad guys are about to use the vibrator to bring down the building on top of everybody.
Oh, they're going to bring it down, all right. Wink. Sorry. So sorry.
You should be sorry. That was stupid.
Oh, yeah, they lock the people inside the vault.
And then Captain America shows up. There's a giant fight. He throws a guy out a window.
No. He's not throwing a man out the window. He punches him out the window. And that is just... I laughed so hard. I needed to see that in my life. I needed to see Captain... And remember, this is a skyscraper, too. This man fell, plunged to his death. And they show you throwing... They show themselves throwing the dummy. Don't show themselves. But they show you dummies falling out these windows. It's just glorious to watch.
So, yeah, in this one episode alone, he killed 4 people.
He killed 4 people.
Yep.
Single-handedly. This is great. So
all right.
Want to move on to the next...
Well, this is where I want to bring up every chapter of this ends in a cliffhanger.
Yeah, yes. And in the YouTube version, the way they edit these together, you don't notice that there are cliffhangers. You just realize that editing was weird. It ended this way, and now this happened. How did they get from A to B? And they don't really show that.
Well, in the full chapter, it shows the building fall and Captain America not escaping. So it looks like Captain America dies in the building.
Yes.
But in the following chapter, which is called The Mechanical Executioner, which is 15 minutes and 38 seconds long, they show Captain America manage to jump out a window and escape.
And again, in the YouTube, you see him in the building, the building goes down. Next thing you see, he's standing outside the building for some reason, watching it go down. How to get there, we do not know.
So we didn't mention, but apparently this was the most expensive picture that Republic Pictures made.
Yeah.
It cost a lot of money, and you could tell because they show the building coming down, and the model they used to do it was pretty cool too. So.
Yeah, throughout the show, they destroy a lot of buildings. There's a lot of fire.
They use a lot of models too, though, which is pretty neat.
Yeah. The budget of this cost $223,000.
Which in 1944 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's equivalent of like millions of dollars, right?
You know what? I want to Bing that because I don't Google.
So I would also wanted to bring up at the beginning of each chapter. I don't think this was in the YouTube version. They show a picture of like Captain America or Gale or the bad guy, and underneath they give you a written recap of what happened in the previous episode.
Did they really?
Yes. And then they show like the last 5 minutes of the previous chapter, like the whole fight scene that happened that got Captain America into predicament. So what I think they did is they shot the ending of one chapter one way, and then they reshot the same thing secondly with a different ending. Because that's what it looks like. Or they cut out scenes from the original one and edited them back in later.
Hold on, I just did the calculations. That movie nowadays would have cost $3.3 million to make.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Although by superhero standards nowadays, that's pretty cheap now.
Yeah, but there's like really no CGI or nothing in this time, so...
No, especially at the time the war was going on, so you're right.
Right. And they're not actually blowing up actual buildings and shit.
Okay, let's get to my favorite episode. I'm excited for this one.
This is your favorite episode?
Well, it has to be my favorite thing in the whole series.
Oh, well, I know this is the episode where the secretary gets scratched. They're hiding the scientist that had the vibrator machine.
Yes.
And then, so the bad guys scratch the secretary to find out where he is, and so they kidnap him. And that's pretty much the entire second chapter. It's them trying to get the scientist back and, him being kidnapped. So they end up in a barn at the end. Oh, no, I'm sorry. So they take the scientist to a barn, and this is where they threaten to run him over with a tractor.
And this is by far my favorite thing in the whole series/movie.
This is a start of a trend, though, of them threatening to do something to somebody, and the guy being like, okay, I'll tell you everything. They're trying to figure out a code that the scientists knew for some other machine that they're going to use in the next chapter. And after they threaten him, he writes it down and they get the code. But Captain America shows up and there's this big fight.
Okay, before we get to that, I got to talk about this.
Go.
When they're threatening him, they don't just threaten by hitting him, no. They say, well, okay, give us the code. He says, I'll never tell you. And that's the end of that. So they knock him over, lay him down, then walk to the tractor right across him, like about 20 feet, get on it, and he starts driving slowly to him. And after they only drive slowly to him, the other henchman, for some weird reason, wants to show you, yeah, this is a real tractor. So he starts throwing things in front of it to watch it run those things over. And it's the way it plays out is the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
Well, that's not the end of the tractor. Captain America shows up in this big fight, and then Captain America gets his ass knocked out.
He does.
He gets his butt kicked by these guys. This is the first instance that he gets nailed. And then they start the tracker and to run over Captain America, and they run away, and it looks like the tractor runs over Captain America. But no, that's the cliffhanger for this one, because in the next one, Chapter 3 is called The Scarlet Shroud, and it is also 15 minutes and 33 seconds. And it shows, how Captain America got away from it?
He stood up.
And walked around it.
The man in the chair tied up didn't help. He just watched it happen.
Well, that's not true. The man in the chair was tied up, did get the gun that fell and shot at the guy so they would run away.
But then he just sat. I'm watching. He just sat there.
That's because I forgot to bring this up too. When the tractor was coming at Captain America, you see the actor sit up and then lay back down.
Yeah. But you'd think the guy sitting there would be like, hey, Captain, get up.
Yeah.
Get up, Captain.
He knew Captain America was awake, so he's like, oh, he's just playing this up for dramatic effect. So with the code in hand, they get the scientist's new machine, which apparently burns through concrete and steel, is what they said. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And so they use it to start breaking into vaults and stuff, and there's this giant crime spree. At first, they rob banks, and then they rob museums of art paintings, and then they rob some person's estate that has rare books in it. They steal a bunch of weird things.
And for no rhyme or reason, it seems like either.
Just because he wanted them, essentially. The main bad guy, the Scarab, just does things because he wants them.
And that's the whole, I think throughout the whole show, that's what this is. Is like, I want power, I want money. Why? Because I want it. He's not an in-depth villain. The show isn't really an in-depth show.
Yeah, but even even for like things, he sees a machine that a scientist creates. Oh, I want that. Go steal it.
Yes. Oh, a scientist is working on something that does a great. There's some things in this later that you'll be like, what? Like, I want that now. No security around this kind of stuff. Just a scientist working on something, and I want it.
It's ridiculous at points. But anyway, so they're investigating, and at one point, again, the secretary comes across some clue, and then these guys attack her, and then she kills a guy.
Just dead.
So even she's kind of badass in this, honestly.
She is. She holds her own. And she doesn't have any, like, oh, I just did something that was really sad. No, she did it and walks away.
The instance that led up to her shooting a guy was apparently one of the Scarab's henchmen is messing with Captain America's car.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes down to try and catch him, but he drives away, and then the guy comes at her, and so she shoots him to death and steals his cars and chases after Captain America. So apparently the car is going to blow up when this water pressure gauge gets to full, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Kind of like Speed, yeah.
But I didn't. That's what it was. Water pressure. It was a weird gauge to see in a car. But maybe that's
something from the 40s, because that was. I was thinking, like, how throughout the show you mentioned gauge. Whenever it is like we got to show this is tense. Let's cut to them fighting. Let's cut back to a thing. It's slowly moving up. And let's cut back to them fighting. And looking back at it. Let's cut back to that. And it's slowly moving up to when it's going to explode or do what it does.
There are a lot of countdown timers in this movie.
Yes, there's a pattern in this. This is a very, very, very patterned movie.
So, Captain America finally catches on to what they're doing. Well, no, the scientist creates the most ridiculous machine that I've ever seen in my life.
More ridiculous than the vibrator, huh?
Yeah, well, apparently this machine can burn through things, but the scientist could create something a machine that locates it. He pretty much creates a map and makes a light bright out of it.
Yep.
And then, apparently, when the machine gets used, it'll light up this light bulb. I don't know how or why it lights up the light bulb. It seems like you would need some kind of connection to get to that. And then when the light bulb lights, he's going to use this poker over this map. It's like pins in there, and he like runs them over. And when he hits the right pin on the map, it'll light up this other light and show exactly where it is.
And this map isn't small either. It's a pretty big map.
And the worst part is, when the thing lights up, they show him going over each little node while they juxtapose that with the bad guys burning through the safe and slowly back and forth. And then they finally find out where they are, and Captain America manages to get there before they're gone, even though he's probably across town at this point.
Yeah, don't mind all the traffic stops and kids playing in roads.
So the bad guys are stealing platinum for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's a lot of you don't know why in this. Not you, TJ, but just us in the audience in general. Like, why are they doing
Are you saying I don't know stuff, Marcus?
I say you don't know everything.
But I'm not even saying, like, I don't know the reason why they're stealing platinum. Like, why platinum at all? You know what I mean? Why not gold or what? Why would someone steal platinum? It's not like it's
use it for
money
machine or something. Exactly. Like, are you going to build something with it? Like, do you have a big overarching plan? No, just wants platinum.
Apparently. Well, anyway, Captain America shows up. There's another choreographic fight scene where he knocks down one of the guys, and the second guy and him fight up on like a scaffolding, and they fall into this giant box.
An empty giant, like this box.
Yeah, I don't know why this box is here, what its purpose is.
There's no letter.
There's nothing in it.
No. It's literally just a big box for them to fight in.
Right. And so the other bad guy wakes up and says, oh, they're fighting in the box. So he turns the machine that burns through lead and concrete on it, and instead of it burning through the wood like it's supposed to, it sets it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're supposed to believe Captain America dies there. Cliffhanger. Oh, no.
Oh, see, that's where cliffhanger is for? Okay. So
yeah.
For me, it kept on going, and they're still fighting through it.
No, it's they fight for a little bit in the box,
Yes.
but then it stops, and you think Captain America is going to burn to death inside.
So that's the beginning of the next chapter.
Yes. So the next chapter, chapter 4, preview of murder, 15 minutes and 33 seconds. So Captain America knocks out the guy inside the box, and then picks up his gun and shoots the nails that are holding the box together, and kicks down the door to it. I don't think bullets and nails work that way, but maybe I'm wrong.
And these are thick industrial nails. This is a small revolver. And he's doing one shot each. There's like, 4 of them, I think? 6 of them. It's just ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, and he didn't miss either.
No. And then that man runs away. That box is still on fire with an unconscious man inside, and they just leave him there.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They just leave people to die.
Yeah, the most horrific way possible. Just get burned alive. You're fine.
But the other guy, the main henchman, Madsen, gets away again. But they have to leave behind this robotic truck. That's what they call it, and it's the first time we're introduced it. But apparently, it's a remote control truck.
Oh, this robotic truck from the 1944, mind you, is just ahead of it. It's ahead of our time. This is what Tesla's doing now. This thing can be driven wirelessly. It's got a camera in it where they can view it miles away on a big screen.
No. It has omniscient television technology because this camera apparently can make them see entire scenes. It felt like they were watching the movie with us.
Yes. Have you seen Spaceballs?
Yes.
It's that scene where they put the VHS in to watch what has happened so far. It was just like that.
They're literally watching the scene as it's happening in real time.
Yes.
But the truck is in the scene.
Yes.
So where's the camera?
I don't know. Again, especially 1944, how big those cameras were.
Right, but my point is, they said the camera was in the truck, but you see the entire truck behind the actors talking. This is omniscience right here, man. So, yeah, so they're omniscient TV. Yes. I wrote down Captain America kills another guy, but I don't know where that comes up. So his kill count apparently went up to 6 at some point.
It's 6. Does he reach double digits? He has to reach double digits by the end of this, right?
Yeah.
That's sad.
So they end up with the cops end up with the remote robotic car, and so they're trying to get the car back. Essentially what happens is the bad guys gain control of the car, but the Captain America knows that they get the car, they can control the car, so he lets them take control of it, but he's in the car with them. And so they try to make Captain America crash while in the robotic car.
Yes.
But he punches the control mechanism, takes control of the car, and the cliffhanger is him crashing into a house, because they were trying to, when they retook the car, the bad guys, they put explosives in there and they were going to blow up the scientist's house.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, but it didn't work out that way. So it's Captain America supposedly blew up in this car, but of course she doesn't, because
so we have 14 episodes to kill.
Yes. So we go into chapter 6, Vault of Vengeance.
No?
This is what... No?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, you're right. No, we're in chapter 5, Blade of Wrath. But yeah, so essentially, he escapes... He jumps out of the car before it blows up. And so they have the Doctor witness protection in this one. Captain America doesn't check the perimeter because he's stupid. And the Doctor gets killed by the bad guys.
Yeah, for being in the army, he's not a bright soldier.
Right. And then the secretary goes and discovers the paper mill where they're hiding out now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we get the paper cutter guillotine. It's a paper cutter, apparently. I guess they cut paper like that back then.
No way. This thing is huge. This thing is like you can fit like 3 grown adults under this thing.
Yeah, but that's how you cut stacks of paper like that.
That's so dangerous. Where was OSHA at? My goodness. And there's like no railings around it either, so you can easily get under the thing.
But yeah, so Captain America shows up to save the day, as per usual, and but the cliffhanger is the guillotine about to drop on her throat and kill her. The end.
Yeah, this is some dark stuff. We really truly think about it. But continue.
Yeah. So then we go into chapter 6. That one was 15 minutes too. Every chapter from here on out is 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't really keep telling them this. They don't care about that.
Yeah, but I figured, But I just realized every chapter is 15 minutes, so.
Is it? I don't believe you. Let's check that out.
1538, 1533, 1533, 1533, 1534, 1533.
33, 33, 33, 34. Yeah, you're right. Okay. You proved me wrong yet again.
This chapter 6 is called The Vault of Vengeance.
I don't remember this one. You have to explain this one to me for sure.
Well, so he saves her by hitting the switch and stopping it from guillotining her, and that's how we get out of that cliffhanger. But I actually don't remember. Oh, this is where they are blackmailing another scientist for money because for some reason, or threatening him for money, and so they drop off the money, but it's a trap Captain America set, and they end up in the mine shaft. So yeah, they get to the mine shaft because Captain America follows. For some reason, they're hiding out in a mine shaft. I just realized that as I was explaining this sentence. They're hiding out in a mine shaft. But Captain America follows them to the mine shaft, and they get into another fight, and then Captain America gets thrown down a hole, and then they drop, mine shaft, whatever they were mining in that shaft, down trying on top of him, crush him. And of course they don't look to check to see if he's dead.
No, because why would they do that?
And that's how that chapter ended. I'm just flying through it now.
Yeah, so we got 15 of these.
Well, I did it I realized in the beginning I had a lot of notes for the first few ones.
Yeah.
Because we had to explain what was going on. But now it's starting to get very repeaty.
Yeah, that's why I said, I don't know how we can have 4 hours, because, it's very repetitive, this show. In a good way, because, like I said, it's entertaining. It's just still...
Right. Once they found a formula, they definitely went with it.
Oh, they kept through this formula. It does not get deeper than that.
So we go into chapter 7, which is called Wholesale Destruction. Know how he got out of that stuff falling on top of him?
How?
He rolled out of the way.
He's very smart on how to get away from things. Standing up, rolling around, walking on a collapsing building.
Right. So, in this episode, they're trying to destroy one of the doctor's plant because he didn't give them the money that they wanted, from the I said blackmail, but it's more like it was more like a ransom, I guess. They're going to go destroy his plant. This is where I realized that does the district attorney do all the investigating? Because I don't think that's how it works. I don't know
what the real jobs are, but that's what he's doing in this. I guess he's around town a lot doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I think it's the cop's job to gather evidence and doing the investigation and stuff, and he's just supposed to prosecute. So he's doing everyone else's job.
I mean, he's Captain America.
And you know what else I find weird? He's going around murdering people as Captain America. He's a vigilante.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
They should be trying to stop him, but the police commissioner is like, "Oh, Captain America's on the job. He's going to help us."
It's getting pretty political, TJ. I don't like this.
Even in the Batman comics in the 30s and 40s, the cops are like, "Batman's making us look bad. We got to stop him."
And they're like, "Yeah, we're rubbing elbows with him. He's doing a good job."
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
And I didn't think about that.
They're going to blow up this factory where Captain America shoots 2 more people. His death count's up to 9. Let me guess.
Does this end by the factory blowing up too?
Yes. But before that happens, I don't know why it stood out at me, but there was an Uncle Sam poster in there that said, "No room for rumors."
No, I mean, any idea what that references to?
No idea. That's why I brought it up. It's an Uncle Sam poster with him pointing like every other Uncle Sam poster, but under the caption says "No room for rumors." But yeah, you're right. The plant blows up, and we think Captain America's dead
again.
And we go into we go into Chapter 8. Cremation in the clouds. Know how he survives this one? Runs out of the door this time. So, the bad guys blow up this plant. So they succeed. But they say, Captain America stops us again. But Captain America has not stopped them once yet. Once. He has failed to stop, 3 scientist deaths. The property destruction, every time he goes somewhere blows up. He is so bad at this.
I'm telling you, he's a fan who read the comics, I can do this, realizing I cannot do this, so I'm still going to try.
He does not realize that because he keeps doing it over and over again.
He's good at killing people. He knows that about himself.
And this is where I realized there's one cop that that Captain America stations at every place. This one cop called Clancy, who always gets captured. He's worse than the secretary.
It really is, yes.
Captain America has still got this guy in safety, but he wants to go to his job because they keep him there in protection and he's tired of it. So they walk outside, and then this white guy with a blowgun tries to shoot him. I mentioned white guy because they say he's a Mayan, an ancient Mayan guy trained with this blowgun, and it's just a white guy in a suit. This wasn't. Well, they didn't even. They didn't even try.
Better than a white guy in a suit than a white guy in brown face in a suit. So I'm fine with this.
That's fair. It is the 40s. They wouldn't have just hired, a person of color for it.
Shoot off on his face and call it a day. So I'm glad it did this way.
But it was so unbelievable. He's in a suit with a giant blowgun. Anyway, he misses because he's terrible at his job because he's just a white guy with a blowgun. And then the DA shoots him and gets his kill count up to 10. But he shoots he shoots him and the guy's on the roof. So not only does he kill him by shooting him, but he also falls off the roof. They wanted to throw that dummy.
They had a surplus of dummies they want to throw off the roof.
Oh man. They also cannot. This is where I noticed they can't say Mayan at all. They say Mayan in this one, and later on they say Mayon. And
I thought that was I legit thought okay, what's a Mayon? Was it as a fancy man or something? Until you just described earlier, it's Mayan. Oh, okay. Like I said, they're not brown.
So they got the blowgun from the guy, so they're taking it to this guy who can identify it, which will lead back to the Scarab. So the Scarab sends these guys to set a bomb on the plane. And so Captain America puts his secretary on the plane and says, "Here, take this. Go to see this guy." And she takes off on the plane. And this is where we get another one of those meters things.
Where it slowly ticks up.
It slowly takes up, but it's weird. It's got 2 counters. It's a gauge on the outside that goes all the way around, and once it goes all the way around, it ticks up from 1 to 2, and it goes all the way around again, and it ticks up to 3. It's a strange thing. I don't know what it's actually for, or if that was in planes at times.
Maybe altitudes. I couldn't tell you.
But the plane explodes, and that's how that episode ends. Cliffhanger. So, we go into Chapter 9, Triple Tragedy.
Oh my goodness, we're only on Chapter 9?
Yeah, we're almost done.
I got 6 more to go.
Oh my god, do you want to do this podcast or not, Marcus?
Guess it's the same thing. Okay, yeah, Captain America's somewhere.
I had to sit through this for 4 hours. The people can listen to me rant about it for 4 hours.
Okay, I'm good.
You good now? Are you sure?
Because I'm sitting here realizing, I just watched 4 hours of this same thing happening. 15 minutes each section. It's not...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Go ahead.
It's not even affecting my rating because I still enjoyed this show.
Yeah,
so that's saying something, I guess.
Yeah, but it's the same thing over and over again. Man, Guess how Gail survives the plane crash.
How she was supposed to survive it?
She jumps out and parachutes away.
She had a fucking parachute.
Yeah. These cliffhangers and their solutions to the end feels like bad jokes.
This whole show feels like a bad joke.
But it's like how did the guy get away from the tracker? He rolled out of the way.
How did the guy leave a collapsing building?
He walked out.
Oh man.
So I wrote down that Captain America kills another guy, but he punches him out a window. I don't know.
Again.
I don't know when that happens. So in the explosion, the blowgun got destroyed. So oh no, the Scarab's identity is safe yet again. What a surprise! These last few chapters are they're about to find out the identity, but then he stops it somehow, and he doesn't find out who he is. So I just wrote for this one, after the parachute, I have no idea what happens in this chapter at all. But apparently they end up in a barn somewhere and it blows up.
Yes. I'll be honest. These last, what chapter are we on? 9, 10?
Yes, 9.
Like from 10 to the 13, I zoned out while it was playing. It's like I figured, okay, it's going to do this, this, and this. So this is all you, TJ, even more so.
Yeah, well, a barn blows up. Cliffhanger. And I literally do not know what happens with Triple Tragedy, and I'm not going back to find out. So if you're curious what happens in that chapter, all I know is that he kills somebody by throwing them out a window and a barn blows up, and then Gal parachutes out of the plane. Chapter 10, The Avenging Corpse. How do you think they survived the barn blowing up?
Do they walk out of it?
No, they run out of it. So, the Gale had discovered these guys at a barn. They followed these guys to the barn. And she walked in and fell into a trap. One of those comic trap pits. They pulled a lever and the floor falls out from underneath her. And they lock her in there.
Yes, I remember seeing that, yes.
And that's when the barn blows up because they set gunpowder along the trail, and then they had a light flame, and Captain America comes in and punches it out of their hands. And so it lights and goes up. Now that I'm reading my notes, I'm realizing what happened in this one. But they get out of it because Captain America hits the lever, pulls her out, and runs out of the barn with her, leaving the other two to die. At some point, he shoots some guy to get 12, and then their car chase happens, and for some reason, this guy's throwing grenades in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Very reckless.
I don't think I've ever seen someone throw grenades in a car chase before.
Taken 2 or 3, they recently did that.
Which is, oh, well.
Yeah, it's not good, don't worry.
Okay. But yeah, so he throws grenades and he blows up the bridge so Captain America can't follow him. This is where they end up at a tower, like outside one of those oil towers, like out in a thing, and Captain America ends up punching the main bad guy off the tower and killing him.
Yeah, and then he just uses a rope to get down, correct?
Yeah, and then he shoots the other guy. So that's technically deaths 13 and 14. But I don't remember how they end up in the shack. But they end up in a shack and that blows up. Leading into chapter 11, which is The Dead Man Returns. Guess
that makes sense.
How did they get out of the shack?
They run out of this one.
Yep. And all the evidence in the shack that would point to the Scarab is destroyed. I guess that's why they went to the shack.
You know, Captain America's bad at his job.
Yeah. So apparently there's resurrections now.
Yeah. This show takes a turn.
Yes, so... Oh, and I also wrote down the commissioner apparently takes orders from the DA, so I don't know how that works either. So, yeah, apparently the scientist has created a machine that can bring animals and plants back to life.
Mm-hmm. But it's got to be within a recent amount of time.
Right.
I think has passed away.
And he's putting on a demonstration. So he invites the bad guy, the Scarab. He doesn't know that he's a bad guy. He invites Captain America, the DA, because he doesn't know that they're both in. And he brings a puppy back to life.
And then the puppy, for some reason, I thought it was like on a high skyscraper, but apparently not. Just goes out and runs outside the window.
No, everything just happens in some guy's mansion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he goes and runs outside the room, and then the DA
chases out after him, and then the bad guys come in and tie everybody up and steal the machine. So they steal the body of Madsen, who's dead, and now we're in Frankenstein because we're going to bring Madsen back to life because they kidnapped the doctor and his resurrection machine, and he wants to bring his guy back to life because that's what kind of story we're in now.
Yeah. No, that's what goes straight sci-fi at this point.
And Captain America, on his way somewhere, he's getting changed in a car. I noticed he's putting his mask on as he's driving. He's lucky he didn't crash.
Can you imagine? Just a cop being called to that scene. Just Captain America dressed in a DA/Captain America suit.
Yeah, so they're bringing back this Madsen, this main henchman, back to life with this machine. But the doctor is there, the Scarab. He doesn't have a mask on. The doctor knows who he is.
Yeah.
This is a recipe for getting caught. But Captain America shows up and starts fighting, and he ends up in this back room, this back area, where all the lightning and electricity is shocking, and then the other henchman, of course, pulls the lever and tries to fry him and the other guy both.
Yep. Again, willing to sacrifice a henchman to kill Captain America, who is also bad at his job.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's how that one ends, and going into Chapter 12, Horror on the Highway. But how does Captain America survive this one?
I think he doesn't roll out. Doesn't just push himself away from it.
Yeah, he just rolls out of the way. He jumps over that little gap thing, that little pipe thing. When he pulls the switch, jumps over it.
Well, see, go back to the henchmen real quick. I appreciate that about the henchmen. Not only can they hold their own, they're willing to sacrifice each other just to kill Captain America. And that was some gruesome, dark stuff.
Right. So, in this one, not Captain America, the DA is going to pin the murder on this guy, and they're going to finally find out who the Scarab is. But they need to ID him. But the only other witness they have to corroborate, because Captain America is a vigilante, he's not going to come forward and reveal who he is.
No, get charged with all those murders? No, thank you.
So they have one other witness. It's the doctor, the Scarab. The bad guy behind everything is the other witness.
Shocker.
So, but the Scarab's like, yeah, I'm going to ID this guy and pretty much get him killed because he's a liability now because he can reveal my entire operation. So that's exactly what he does. He says, yeah, that's the guy. But the guy was also told by the Scarab he can get him out if he lies to the DA and says that the doctor the doctor who created the resurrection machine was killed in the previous chapter by the Scarab, so his identity was safe. But the resurrection machine was also conveniently destroyed.
Yes.
So they pin everything on him, trying to make the guy says that he's the Scarab, the dead scientist with the resurrection machine. So, but he can prove it, this guy, if he takes him to the dead guy's house. So Captain America, the DA takes him to the house by himself with no backup, mind you, where he's ambushed by Madsen and another guy, and then that guy the criminal who was arrested got murdered by them, and then Captain America shoots another guy for kill count 15. And I also wanted to point out, he walks in with this guy handcuffed to him. The guy he had arrested.
Yes.
And when they start shooting at him, Captain America just jumps aside and the handcuffs just break.
Yep. No resistance, just snap.
They're just the worst shitty handcuffs I've ever seen. But Madsen gets away from the gunfight and gets in his car and drives away. And Captain America, or I guess it's the DA in this case, chases after him in his car. But the other goon shoots out the DA's tire, and Captain America crashes off the side of a highway, and he dies. End of chapter 12.
So chapter 13, Skyscraper Plunge.
Yep. How did he survive the car crash?
Shockingly, he didn't survive it. He just died.
No.
He switch it? No, that's not what happens.
No, he jumped up before the crash. Before the crash even happened.
So there's no surprise Steve Rogers coming into this?
Nope. So this is where we get ridiculous technology. Well, there's been ridiculous technology throughout the thing, but
yeah, what are you talking about? There's a vibrator, someone coming back from the dead.
But like this is like practical stupid technology, because the Scarab, there's this map apparently that is engraved on a plate that this new scientist, because there's like 17 scientists in this freaking show. This new scientist has discovered half of a plate, and of course the Scarab has the other half. But they need to find out where they're keeping this new scientist. So he goes to his office and say the museum was broke into, and that he needs to use. I guess they had fingerprint technology back then because they keep using that throughout.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'll get my guy to run DNA tests or whatever the hell they're doing, fingerprint tests on this. So when the DA leaves, the Scarab leaves a recording device in here that only records for a minute.
Don't know why, just a minute.
Because I don't think they had recording devices back then, did they?
The 40s, I would think so. No, probably not. Yeah. I mean, they're recording on film for it's crying out loud, right?
Yeah, but not like portable recording devices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's World War II. So yeah, he sounds right.
It records for 1 minute at a time, and then once it's played back, apparently it erases the sound. So yeah, the Scarab sends one of his henchmen to retrieve the recording device after a while, and then they find out where the guy is. So he sends guys to him, and they have one dressed up like a room service guy, and the stupid cop Clancy opens the door after he was warned by Captain America that they're coming, searches them, but does not search the trays that the food's under.
No. That's so cliched.
He walks in, and he reveals under the platter that there's a gun, and he throws Clancy and the secretary in the closet while they try to get the information out of the scientist about where the second plate is. And he's like, I'm never going to tell you. And then he threatens to kill Clancy and the secretary. He's like, okay, I'll tell you. And he gives them the plate in the freaking safe. But then Captain America shows up, and he gets thrown out of a window.
Yep. And it cuts there, right? If that's your cliffhanger?
Yeah. So he comes, he shows up, he gets his ass kicked and punched out of a window.
He got a taste of his own medicine finally.
So we go into chapter 14, the Scarab strikes. How does Captain America survive the fall?
He lands into a conveniently placed truck. What's a truck holding? Is it just a satchel?
Well, I wrote it's either full of sacks or pillows.
Either way, it's how high he fell, he would have died no matter what. Unless I'm mistaken.
Well, I mean, he may have survived, but he definitely would have probably broken something.
Oh, there's no way he would have lived through that. That's just what? He's not even super strength in this. He's just an average dude.
I don't know. Maybe he has superpowers that allow him to super heal.
Okay, he's got the serum in him. That's fine.
I mean, this isn't Steve Rogers, though.
No, it's not. It's something Gardner. Grant Gardner.
Yeah, Grant Gardner. Not to be confused with Guy Gardner. Do you know who Guy Gardner is? The second Green Lantern.
Oh, is he the artist? The artist?
No, I'm sorry. He's not the second Green Lantern. Technically, he's the third Green Lantern, but he's the second space cop Green Lantern.
I'm sorry, there was one that wasn't a space cop?
Yes. So, in the time period that we're in now, like 1940s and 1950s and stuff, there was a Green Lantern called Alan Scott.
Yeah.
But his power was derived from a magic lamp, like the other Green Lanterns, only he was more magic based.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he didn't have the space cop routine that's going on. Hal Jordan is the first Green Lantern in space, essentially. But Hal Jordan was kind of the typical boring plain kind of thing. So they brought Guy Gardner in, who is more like, he's got like a soldier head cut, but he's more rash. He likes to fight and stuff. He's more, more brutish is the word for it.
Okay.
The guy that you're thinking of, the artist, the third one, is called Kyle Rayner.
Okay.
So Kyle Rayner is, he's an artist and stuff like that. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Kyle Rayner is not the third Green Lantern. Frank, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. I feel so bad too. He's the first Black Green Lantern.
Oh, John Stewart.
John Stewart, yeah. John Stewart.
I'm gonna know that one.
John Stewart is the third Green Lantern. Kyle Rayner is the fourth Green Lantern. The fifth Green Lantern is actually a Muslim guy.
What?
Yeah, he was actually framed for being a terrorist, and then he got a Green Lantern ring, and he escaped.
That's sad. Of course, he's got to be a terrorist, right? Or a framed as a terrorist. I'm sorry.
I mean, that was his first storyline, but now he's just there as a Green Lantern.
That's cool.
And
was this after 9/11, I guess? This
was recent, in the last 5-6 years.
Oh wow, yeah, okay.
And then there's the newest Green Lantern is a woman. I forget her name, but she's pretty cool. I really like her.
There has to be uproar over that, though, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't follow controversies like that. But she went toe to toe with Darkseid.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, she was like, there's a comic book called Justice League Odyssey, and like 21 issues in, her whole team's pretty much taken over by Darkseid, and she's the only one left, and her ring's almost out of power, and Darkseid's like, join me, and we'll do this, and she's like, no, and she punches Darkseid in the face.
What?
And Darkseid says, Green Lantern's so full of will, but ultimately pointless, and then he just uses his rays and turns her to dust.
Oh, Jesus.
It's an amazing comic. It's Justice League Odyssey, like number 20 or 21 or something, but it's one of my favorite Green Lantern comics, even though it's a Justice League Green Lantern moments, I should say, and it really made me like her. I think her name's Jessica Cruz.
That's pretty intense. I'm gonna look that up later.
Yeah, it really stood out to me. I mean, of course, he gets brought back to life in the next issue, but
of course, comic book. Come on, of course.
But because of Omega Beams and Darkseid powers and stuff like that, but her standing up to Darkseid, punch him in the face, and then Darkseid's comic about how Green Lanterns are strong, but ultimately, they're nothing in the scheme of things. I forget the exact quote. It's really good. And then he just kills her. It was really powerful. I really liked it.
That's beautiful.
Where was I on this one?
I don't remember. Someone getting punched or kicked out. Oh, yeah, he got thrown out the window. We were arguing that.
Yeah, why did we get into... Oh, because Guy Gardner.
Yes.
It sounded... Grant Gardner and Guy Gardner was in it. And I meant to bring it up earlier, but I forgot. And then I went on a whole Green Lantern thing. Funny thing is, I'm not really even into Green Lanterns that much.
You just... Oh, that's really?
No, especially the stuff that's out now. It's kind of bland to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, someone likes it.
But that's just me using my comic book knowledge. I read a lot of comics, so I do know a lot about stupid things that I shouldn't. Like how many Green Lanterns there are right now. So they capture the scientists and they try to torture the information out of them with a bullwhip.
Yeah.
Or a horse whip. Because they try to make this Scarab guy been posing. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention about the Scarab? Know how he's the bad guy?
Yeah.
His evil monocle.
I want to talk about that. You noticed that too?
Yeah.
There was a scene where he looked right at the camera saying something stupid and just slowly put it in his eye. And did a twitch of his little mustache. It was like a Dr. Evil moment. And it was like, what am I watching right now?
You can tell he's the evil guy.
Yeah. It's like, my evil plan to kill Captain America. Yes. It's my uncle and I. Love it.
But the DA figures out where the scientist is being captured, and the Scarab's plan's about to be he's about to be discovered. So what does he do? He gets in his plane and starts bombing the house from the sky.
Not just flying away, just bombing the house.
And the worst part is he's got 3 bombs and he misses the first 2. Meanwhile, Captain America's inside the house fighting off the guards. And then this chapter ends with a bomb dropping on the house and blowing up. Boom, everyone's dead.
I wonder how to get out of this one.
Chapter 15. So when I originally wrote this down, I thought it was called The Tool of Doom.
No. It's called The Toll of Doom.
The Toll of Doom. Yeah, I got it by the last line of the episode. I was like, huh. I was like, where's the Tool of Doom come in?
I'm telling you, that was a vibrator from earlier.
Oh, okay. The Toll of Doom. Anyway, so
tell TJ, how did they get out of those house bombings?
I don't know. You tell me.
Did they run out the house?
Well, Captain America picks up the doctor, right?
Yep.
And he runs out the door.
Oh, wow. They changed up a little bit.
Yeah, this time he's carrying him. Except for that one time where he was carrying the secretary when he escaped that other one. You know, different things happened in different parts of the issue.
Why not? I'm going back to the fighting into the fighting in the box. Why not just take the guy out the box who's going to burn alive in it and just interrogate him for later?
Why not do that with 1,000 of the guys?
Yeah, instead of just punching the guy out the window, it's just, hey, buddy, you could be going out the window, but I want to talk to you first.
Apparently, every time he does arrest someone, they end up dead anyway, so what's the point?
He's just a character I would want to play with in D&D. Like, you're going to kill the guy I'm going to interrogate anyways. What's the point?
Is that a jab at Sean?
You know what? Yes, it is now.
Sean's our buddy of ours.
He's the other podcast friend.
Oh yeah, if you listen to Anime and Us, he's the host on there. But he's definitely a murder hobo.
Oh yes, but not in the worst way. It's just not in a good way.
But yeah. So Captain America discovers who the Scarab is, but first the secretary does, and she goes and no, they kidnap the secretary, don't they?
They do. Yeah, they do.
They kidnap the secretary, and the Scarab reveals his identity to her. And then she manages to get a message to the DA revealing who it is. So it was all a trap for the bad guys. I forget what the plan was, what they were after. It doesn't matter. It was a trap. And the secretary let Captain America know where everything was happening. So now they're going to kill her by turning her into a mummy.
Yep. Because why not a mummy? Because,
we haven't had enough stupid things happen in this. Yeah. So, yeah, they're going to turn her into a mummy. And so Captain America, of course, shows up on time. But the Scarab is like this old guy with a monocle and bald. But he goes toe-to-toe with Captain America.
He does. This war veteran goes toe-to-toe. Well, Captain America's war veteran, yes, right?
Well, not in this.
What is he in this?
He's just a district attorney in this.
So he didn't go to war in this one?
No, I don't think so.
Well, what's the point of him being Captain America? Okay.
I think they wrote this story and we want attendance in this hero. That's not going to make money. Well, we'll just throw Captain America in there. Okay.
Yeah. Who's fancy for the kids nowadays? Yeah, this Captain America fella. Okay.
But yeah, so in the end, he ends up defeating the Scarab, saving the secretary, and arresting him. And it ends with the Scarab being put in the electric chair and dying.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Yeah, that's what the...
No, it doesn't.
That's what they're talking about.
What?
In the office of the commissioner at the end.
What? No, that's... Oh, yeah, they do.
In the office at the end, in the office at the end, they're talking about how he's in electric chair, and at the stroke of midnight, the toll of doom, they're going to electrocute the Scarab.
Oh my god, this show.
And then the clock strikes midnight, the toll of doom happens, and then it goes to credits. The end.
I totally missed that because I want to know how he died or what happened to him. So I watched it over and over again. Like, I don't get what's going on, what's going over my head. So I guess we figured I'll talk about it to you right now. And my goodness, that is something.
Yeah, no, they electrocute him and all his friends.
So your option as a henchman was either get punched out of a window, shot by Captain America, be burnt to life by one of your fellow henchmen, or be zapped to death at the end. My God.
Well, you can also be brought back to life, only to be electrocuted in an electric chair. So, I also wanted to bring up, since we're at the end here, the references to this movie in actual comic books.
Yes, please.
So, in issue number 219 of Captain America, it is revealed that this serial exists in Marvel continuity.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that the serial exists in Captain America comic book continuity.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So how they played it off?
In fact, Steve Rogers plays the role of a stuntman in the serial because when the stuntman gets killed, and I think he's there doing an investigation.
Okay.
So he's actually taking the place of the stuntman doing the stunts in the serial, apparently.
That's pretty meta.
Yeah. I mean, that was in 1978, though, so I thought that was pretty neat.
That's very neat. That's just a cool meta-ness. I like that.
Yeah. And 2007, and the Civil War event, you know what the Civil War event is, right?
Oh, wait, we're going to talk about it later, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but, it was an actual event in the comic books.
Yeah, I know. It happens multiple times, doesn't it?
I didn't read the other ones, but I read the first one, which is completely different from the movie adaptation. At the end of Civil War in the comics, Steve Rogers, Captain America, gets shot and killed.
Yes.
But on the it says, I'm reading the wiki on this one. I'm just going to read it verbatim because I don't understand what it's saying here. It says, in 2007, after Marvel's Civil War event, Captain America Steve Rogers was seemingly killed off. Right?
Correct.
And it says, news channel CNN produced a special on the death, showing the serial with Grant Gardner as Captain America, while it was focusing on the death of Steve Rogers.
CNN was showing it. Grant Gardner, you said? This guy.
Yeah. And issue 27 of Captain America, the movie poster, is also seen in the Captain America Museum. So apparently, I guess there was a real special of the death of Captain America on CNN.
Huh.
And they were using scenes from the serial while focusing on the death of Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers' ex-girlfriend and the Ultimate Marvel continuity is also known as Gail Richards, after Grant Gardner's secretary.
Okay.
And then, of course, in the 2011 Captain America film, Steve Rogers is the one doing the serials.
Oh, the one. Okay.
Yeah, when he's a movie star.
Yes, that makes sense.
So yeah, he's actually playing. I guess he's playing Grant Gardner in those. Because,
I like that.
Well, I guess they did know his name's Steve Rogers. He's never had a hidden identity.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up about that. Like, nowadays, hidden identities are pretty. After Iron Man, I guess, came out, they did away with that kind of stuff, didn't they?
In the Marvel universe.
Yeah, the Marvel one.
Because in DC's identities are still a big thing.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you like that?
It depends on the story.
Yeah. I kind of like not having secret identities, because it's a thing that I didn't care for.
But it makes sense. Batman, you shouldn't know who Batman is.
No.
But, knowing who Tony Stark is Iron Man, it's like, it makes sense. He's just a guy in a suit. You know what I mean?
Well, he's got so much power and influence, though, too.
Well, but, everyone knows Tony Stark is. Whereas Bruce Wayne, if everyone knows who Bruce Wayne is, he beats up criminals on the street. They're going to sue his ass into oblivion.
Yeah, Iron Man doesn't. Iron Man fights aliens. Okay, he doesn't do small crime stuff.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
That's logical. That makes a lot of sense.
And plus, Batman's more of a detective than he is a superhero, so...
He gets more hands-on.
Right. Alright, so, yeah, let's go into ratings. What do you want to rate it?
How I'm going to rate these things from here on out, just by giving a number. Well, if we do it by a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best thing we've seen. And, this was a pretty good movie overall. It had its problems. It was repetitive for sure. But there were a lot of strong points. The female was a strong character. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10, honestly.
Yeah, that's where I was leading.
Yeah, 6-2?
Yeah. It's, for the time, it's probably fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot to watch at once.
Especially, it's 4 hours. That's a lot.
I'm sure if we were watching it weekly, it would be different.
Or not, because you still pick up on, okay, they're doing A, they're doing B, they're doing C again.
Yeah, but it's you don't feel the crushing tiredness of it.
Yes.
Because you just watched 4 hours straight of Captain America doing the same thing over and over again. It's decent overall, I think. I mean, as a superhero film based on Captain America, it's crap. Because it has nothing to do with it.
No. But for a thing that it is, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, as like a comic book movie, it's okay. But, it's not Captain America.
No. You know what? You said that, I'm going to bring it down to 5. That's a valid point. It's a solid thing. It's not a good comic book, but it's not a bad comic book. I'm going to get a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's average.
Yeah, it's right in the middle. I would say if you watch this, watch it with a friend, a loved one, just someone to enjoy your time with.
Yeah, it's just, like you said, off screen. It's good to have in a background.
Yeah. Yes.
We promise that in future episodes will probably not be this long, and not this rambly, and not this, chaotic, because this was just a lot to cover.
It was. And again, it was my first time, so hopefully I do better for you guys next time.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it wasn't too bad.
No. I don't think it was. If not, they can suck it up.
Deal with it, people.
Yeah. Suck one. I can't say that. Suck an egg. There we go.
All right.
How do we end these things?
That's pretty much how we end things.
Tell the viewer to suck an egg.
Tell the viewers that they suck. And
Are we the villains in this?